The Mandalorian on a collision course with Ahsoka Tano? The Mandalorian's epic first season has come to a close, and now that we're not constantly distracted by Baby Yoda stealing every scene he's in, we realize that the epic reveal in the season's final shot might set up the return of Anakin Skywalker's former pupil, Ahsoka Tano. But viewer beware, this theory might be fueled by nothing more than hopeful speculation. But if it winds up being correct, this could technically become a spoiler. You know, in the future or whatever. So if you're trying to avoid that kind of thing altogether, now would be the time to hitch a ride on out of here until we're done.
Ahsoka. My name is Ahsoka Tano.
The Ahsoka connection has been in The Mandalorian's DNA since day one. Executive producer Dave Filoni co-created Ahsoka with George Lucas. He showran both the Clone Wars and Rebels animated series. The Darksaber has shown up in all three shows, and I think Ahsoka could too. And the Darksaber is the key. So who is Ahsoka Tano, you might be asking, if The Mandalorian is the first ever Star Wars thing you've ever watched? She's a Force-sensitive Togruta who served as Anakin Skywalker's Padawan apprentice. You know, back when he was still entrusted with the care and safety of younglings. Ahsoka was introduced in the Clone Wars animated movie, which later became a series. It's coming back in February, and she eventually abandons the Jedi Order in that show. Her story is continued in Star Wars Rebels when she appears as an adult, still wielding the Force for good. What we don't know is how Ahsoka's story ends. In the Rebels finale, she ventured out into the galaxy in search of the missing Jedi apprentice Ezra Bridger, and to a lesser extent, Thrawn. She was last seen in the company of an important Mandalorian, Sabine Wren, a one-time wielder of the Darksaber. So how does all of this connect to the Mandalorian? The Mandalorian armorer charges Din Djarin with either training the foundling or uniting him with his people, the Jedi. Mando already knows this child is more powerful than he can handle, and the armorer knows it too. So if that's the Mando's mission, there are only a few different Force wielders that we know of who would even be capable of training the foundling and ensuring he doesn't wind up serving the Empire, who is still out there hunting him. And Ahsoka is perfectly placed to be that teacher, if she's still alive. She'd be older and more experienced than Luke Skywalker, with a galaxy full of trials and adventures under her belt, including surviving a duel with her old master, Darth Vader. It's also very possible that she understands the true nature of the Force in a deeper way than Luke does at this point, given her adventures in Rebels. Back to the Darksaber. Ahsoka has crossed paths with this ancient Mandalorian lightsaber more than once, and she also has ties to the Mandalorian people, or what's left of them, thanks to her friendship with Sabine Wren. If they're still out there, and if they ever find out that the current wielder of the Darksaber is an Imperial responsible for Mandalorian genocide, Smart Credit says she's going to want to help them get it back. Let's also not forget that Dave Filoni has already teased that we'd probably see Ahsoka in live action, and we shouldn't be concerned that she's dead after her voice appeared in The Rise of Skywalker. Of course, I could be wrong about all of this. The child might not end up with Ahsoka. He could end up training with Luke. But given how that ended up, I kind of hope not. And there's always option number 3. The foundling could end up in the hands of the Empire, which...
Kill him. Kill him now.
What do you think of my theory? Will Ahsoka show up in The Mandalorian to train the foundling? Wait, what if it's Cal Kestis or another Order 66 survivor? Who will train this child? Let's argue about it in the comments below. Anyway, thanks for watching, and now that you're all caught up, here's the meaning of every lightsaber color in the canon. And yes, the Darksaber is in there. And while you're at it, don't forget to follow and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.